Hello everyone and welcome back to PAX and Recreation. And today we are podcasting once again in the weekend of the Avatar pre-release. And for reasons that are stronger than me, I am not going to open Avatar stuff while doing this. So I guess we're doing the second half of what we opened last week, which is the Ravnica series. So we're going to do the Ravnica Allegiance theme boosters. And just to find some headcanon as to why this is relevant is because, well, Avatar brings back the ally type, and this is allegiance. So ally, allegiance, get it? Trust me, no one is more pissed at the fact that I don't have my stuff yet than myself. But we're going to talk about the pre-release, about the set a little bit, and also about some of the bans, or the most important ban, which is Vivi. So before we go into detail, let me just remove the plastic. It's fantastic, so that we can get rid of all the shininess, and it's easier for me to showcase the box. Although some people really like the shrink wrap with the big ass Wizards logo. One thing that I think I commented this once, but one thing that one does have to wonder is when you see stuff like, I don't know, maybe some people care more about this than others, I guess, but I mentioned in a previous episode the whole Game Boy theorem, right? Which is the ship of Theseus, basically. It's like there's a finite set of Game Boys ever made. And every time a new Game Boy is open or an old Game Boy that is already open is modified, we kind of lost a Game Boy. And they're not going to make any more Game Boys, right? And yes, there are some... You can get the pieces from China fairly easily, which is interesting. But you know what I mean. And sometimes when I open... this is not the oldest thing in the world. This is from 2019. Which sounds like, that was not long ago. And then you realize it's like 6 years ago. And it's like, God damn. So this was pre-pandemic, people. And, like every time I open like something that is more or less old, not because of the collector's value or anything like that, but it's true that immediately one less of that, that's why sometimes I like to make the videos, even if not many people are going to watch it, just to I guess, help document it how some things looked, I guess. Even if it's not very important or very relevant, or my voice is annoying. But you know what I mean? It's odd. And if you collect stuff and, if you watch things about trading cards, likely you do. But sometimes I get that feeling like, yes, Magic is made for play, first and foremost. So we buy the stuff to play with it. And that's why there is this ongoing war between Magic the Gathering collectors, I guess, or the Magic the Gathering market and the Pokemon collector market, because they put everything into slabs and everything is to be graded and whatnot. And people from the Magic side always argue saying it's not going to be as valuable because unless it's a Black Lotus or something, people just want the cards to play with. It's not the same. And here's the same. It's like, well, things close are pretty, I guess, but if you don't use them, what's the point? I guess it's like collecting cars and not driving them to a degree. That's an awfully expensive example, but you know what I mean. So, without further ado, let's just see what's in the box, and then we want to start talking about what's up with Avatar and all that. So, theme boosters, people. Theme boosters let player pick the colors they want and upgrade their favorite decks. I'm actually kind of excited about the equivalent, the modern equivalent of theme boosters for the Avatar set, which are the Avatar Jumpstarts. And I'm pretty sure we're going to do like one of these podcasts where I open Jumpstart boosters, and then I'm just going to put them in my cassette tape boxes. If you know what I'm talking about, check the cassette tape video here or down below, or just look in the channel for cassettes with 2 T's. So here we have the other half of the 10 guilds of Ravnica. So we have Orzhov, Gruul, Azorius, Rakdos, and Simic. They do try to balance it so that you have half and half of like the possible color combinations, but still You have the wealthy crime lords, good at draining the opponent's resources. You have the Gruul, destructive anarchists, good at attacking with giant creatures. You have the Azorius, the lawmakers of Ravnica, good at shutting down the opponent's plans. Ragdolls, sadistic jesters and satirists, good at killing creatures and dealing damage. And Simic, boundary-pushing biological engineers, good at efficiently adapting to the game state. And well, this is kind of the box. This is a display box. So this is the other half. Remember when sets came in blocks? We went from 3 to 2 to 1. And just kind of ordered that. One thing that I kind of appreciate, it makes me a little bit sad, but I kind of appreciate nonetheless, is how Wizards has become very good at reducing non-essential cardboard in their packaging and whatnot. Which, I mean, is good because, I mean, if I'm not going to use it, then what's the point? But for some of the things, it makes me kind of, like the bundles. The bundles just have less stuff on them. It's interesting how they are able to do kind of the same with less, but at the same time, it's like, give me back my boxes. So let's go with the first half and let's start talking about Avatar and how appropriate that is. Azorius, the first thing that we get in there. Choose your guild, Azorius, order-loving lawmakers. And remember this. It was obviously the thing, I think, to having the supermarkets and whatnot. These are not like super mega hyper valuable things, but I like them both for the nostalgia of the idea, because, well, we do hate on Wizards a lot whenever they try new things, but truth be told, if they never try new things, Magic will be very dead already. And at the same time, I just like the memories of, like, remember when we played with this? Azorius, order-loving lawmakers. I still haven't found a use for this thing. I guess it's a bookmark. So let's put it here. We get the most expensive card of them all, the most powerful one, the one that can stop you right in your tracks. And the thing that is funny about this is that the way that they put like the anti-theft things, it kind of looks like a Magic card, like a cartoon of a Magic card. So funny. But it is what it is, which also tells you what like these products were intended to be like in Walmart and stuff like that. And that's why they have like I don't know how to call it, but that's why they have like the holes to be like hanged. I don't know what's the correct term for that, but so talking about getting hanged, I guess the autofocus is going crazy because of someone's facing here, and I'm assuming is this one maybe. No, not really. I guess it's this one. And you can be like, you can put the focus on manual. It's like, yes, but sometimes I try to, it was that one. Okay, interesting. So I'm going to comment on every card because most of these cards are just common and uncommon. Just going to comment on the last one, and that will give me free range to just talk about shit. So I guess the first thing, Vivi is now banned, and I have a conspiracy theory about that. I mean, it took them long enough. At the same time, I do think that I think they only did it because of Avatar. You know what I mean? It's like because this is the type of thing that I think sometimes hinders Magic a little bit as a game. Well, not a little bit, kind of a lot. As a game, but at the same time is what keeps it alive. We talked about this previously, which is the whole aspect of like Magic is a game, but it's also an economy, and that's why, blah, blah, blah. And, Persistent Petitioners, this goes right into that deck, because I have that Commander deck. Of course I do. And this is just like the normal art, but just different set logo, so there you go. I think that so the thing is, you can't tell me that with Nadu it was the same. Talking about the devil, he's right here. With Nadu it was the same. It was pretty obvious to everyone that it's like, oh, that card is broken, and it's like, nah, don't worry, it's not. And oh my god, it was very, very broken and very abusable, more than broken, I will say. And I mean, that's okay, because then we had that apology saying, how many Sphinx insights are there in this booster? Like, we got that quote unquote apology of sorts saying like, well, we couldn't test it as we normally do, and shit happens, but we try our best. Sorry. That sort of post really reminds me of that. If you watch South Park, you remember that BP parody? It's just like the BP president saying like, sorry, we are so sorry. And you can be just like, okay. And here is the same. It's like, oh, guys, we are really, really, really sorry that happened. It's like, well, I mean, you have one job, right? It's like, you make cards. Still, mistakes can happen to anyone. But when everyone points at that thing from the previews, and even on the previews, not even like on the actual season, on the previews, everyone is like, I think that shit is broken. And they're like, nah. And it took them like how long to ban that thing? It was kind of too much time. I don't remember how much time it was, but it was kind of a long time to ban that freaking thing. And then it's like, oh, oops, it's banned. Sorry. And then came the apology. It feels like the same with Vivi. Let me just read this one. Unbreakable formation for 2 and 1 white is an instant. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn, and it has addendum. If you cast this spell during your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. Okay. And then popular Magic formats. Ooh. Standard, Booster Draft, and Commander. You get that right. And Anad. Play Allegiance. And this is the other half, right? The other one was play Ravnica. Play Guilds of Ravnica, I think it was. So that's one for Azurius. Now we're moving to Orzhov. So a lot of people's favorite guild. Wealthy, manipulative crime lords. With Vivi, it was kind of the same. I don't think, I mean, pardon my ignorance, I will say, but I don't think Vivi is as broken as Nadu, but another anti-theft. It's crazy. We're getting the good pulls in this one. Orzhov, wealthy, manipulated crime lords. So I think that, it's one of those things, right? You release Vivi, everyone is like, okay. And you can be like, well, maybe it wasn't like super obvious that Vivi was too powerful. It's like, okay. I mean, things like that can happen. So you release that one, and you're like, okay. But then Final Fantasy released like what, on June or something? It's been April, maybe. So it feels like it's either 6 or 5 months since that release. It's like it couldn't take you that long to realize that the meta is that. And you know what makes it more blatantly bleeding of a problem is that normally when they ban cards on Commander or on Modern or Standard or whatever, they always use the same type of arguments, which is like, oh, well, the meta was becoming very dominated and repetitive. They did that with like when they banned what was the name of this Kamigawa black card that was like damn. Well, they banned that one. I don't remember the card, but if you know, you know. And but they use the same language every time whenever they ban a card. They always say the same. It's like, oh, well, the meta was becoming very repetitive and with lack of responses to these, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, my brother, if you look at the decks of the standard decks, of the few people that play the standard, everything was Vivi. So was that not enough for you to be like, well, I guess we need to ban it? No. So they decided to ban it just before Avatar. And my conspiracy theory is that, well, I mean, there is the obvious conspiracy theory, which is Screaming Shell. This shit is kind of nice. It reminds me of Majora's Mask a lot. The first half conspiracy theory, because it's kind of everyone knows this, is, well, obviously, they are not going to ban the card because, well, that sells packs, that moves the secondary market, that's a powerful card. They want everyone to do that, and then they will ban it after some time, and then everyone has to restructure their decks, buying cards again, keeping the secondary market alive, right? So that's the non-conspiracy part of the conspiracy. That's something that they always do. Font of Agonies for 1 black is an enchantment. Whenever you pay life, put that many blood counters on Font of Agonies. If you pay 1 and 1 black, remove 4 blood counters from 4 Font of Agonies, destroy target creature. Okay, not crazy. Popular Magic formats again. And the same thing. So obviously they do that a lot. One does have to wonder how much... I mean, it is to keep the secondary market alive, because there is not ragdolls, by the way. There is no such thing, sadistic gestures and satirists. There is no such thing as Final Fantasy product in the wild, sadly, because they could just reprint at least play boosters. And some people even say that they haven't, there are not even like play boosters on purpose, because to keep like the BV stock high and all that shit. I guess that's the one good thing if they are going to, if it's banned now, and that was the reason, I guess now we can get play booster boxes again, which will be another good reason to ban it now, so that they can sell play booster boxes for Christmas together with the rest of the other, like the Final Fantasy like scene boxes and all that, right? So that will be reasonable and reasonably scummy at the same time. But this is a business. Half of the reason why Magic is still alive is because it's a very sustainable business. They keep power creeping and they keep gating cards and whatnot. So it makes sense as a strategy. And that's my guess. They did that because of that, and to let Avatar breathe a little bit. Because Avatar has a little bit of a power creep. So this is in my humble opinion. So it's obviously it's a better set than Spider-Man when it comes to cards and design and theme and flavoring. But even in power levels, it's a lot better than Spider-Man. So my expectation is that they did that to give some, room for shining to Avatar. Now, why they do that, besides the economic reasonings that I explained now, it's interesting. I don't know if they have like a contract of sorts. I would love to see like one of their contracts for Universe Beyond. I guess all of them are different. But I guess that the contract for Marvel is whatever, because they didn't care that Spider-Man bombed. And the design was very obviously a design that was going to bomb. I guess they were banking too much on like, oh, everyone loves Spider-Man, this thing can die. And Avatar, they actually tried. And I don't know if they have an agreement with Nickelodeon or something that is like, well, the sets have to be good, or they have to have meta-altering cards or something. I don't know. If I was an IP... Well, I guess it depends. I guess they don't care. As long as Wizards like pays for using the IP, I guess they don't care. That's how normally it works. Like they set a price, like, oh, if you want to use Avatar for cards, that's going to be X thousand or X percent of the sales or something, right? Or X thousand and X percent of the sales. Or well, thousands, millions maybe. But so Rix Maddie Revealer. I guess it's Revealer. For 1 and 1 red is a 2/2 human shaman. It has a spectacle. For 2 1 black and 1 red, you may cast this spell for its spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. Okay. When Rix Maddie Revealer enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw a card. If the spectacle cost was paid, instead discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Very Rakdos indeed. And the same add card again. One does have to wonder. So Gruul now, in a very Gruul-like art, wild anarchists who smash. One does have to wonder though, if there will be like such a clause or something, right? Like, like the set has to have one meta altering card, like someone at the IP department or something is a Magic the Gathering fan, and they're like, okay, make them like sign a clause that is like they need to have like meta altering cards or something. Or maybe it just really depends a lot on who designs the set, and if they are fanboys of the thing. Like you can tell that whoever was in charge of designing the Avatar set really liked Avatar, and you can tell the same for Final Fantasy. Even if they didn't like it, they at least respected it a lot. Spider-Man has the thing that like Spider-Man was a smaller set. It was supposed to be a Beyond set, like Assassin's Creed and all that. But I think that ironically, I mean, the concept of Beyond sets and Beyond boosters and all that, like smaller sets, I don't think is bad per se. I don't have a problem with a smaller set because, as I say multiple times, having a lot of commons and uncommons that are just whatever the hell. I mean, it's cool if you want to collect them like they are sticker albums or something, but most people don't play with them. And the designs are either repetitive or irrelevant. So it's just really waste. And yes, for a lot of shows and for a lot of IPs, a lot of times it's just the main characters or the characters, the villains, etc. And in order to follow Magic's logic, a lot of those will need to be rares and mythics. It's weird to have a common and uncommon of an important, powerful character because it goes against the logic that we've been trained to follow when it comes to Magic's rarity. That's why the Spider-Man set feels so weird. You have uncommons that are like, okay, I guess that's a minor Spider-Man or something, right? Like, it's a less relevant Spider-Man. But both in Assassin's Creed and Spider-Man, it feels like they follow the same recipe, which is an uninspired recipe, in my opinion, which is they just went, hey, look at these cards, look at these characters. And it's more like a gallery set of sorts instead of, for example, Avatar obviously has a story end to end, and they didn't go with Korra, right? So it's just Avatar. I guess that they are saving Korra for later, or maybe they know that Korra won't be as successful because there's a lot of debate around Korra. So it makes sense to me, at least, that for Avatar, basically the Avatar set, if you look at the cards, it's telling kind of the story of the show. Like you have like moments, cards for almost every moment. And that's kind of how Magic cards are designed. When you have like in-universe sets, like you have the sets and the story spotlight cards, and that's what makes it cool. You can look at it and kind of guess the universe, guess what's happening, gets the story. Look at the flavor text. Like a Gruul Berserker is never on arms. Like, well, it's badass, right? Like you just look at that shit. That's kind of how it works. Amplifier, that's a lot of text. For 2 and 2 red is a 1/1 creature elemental. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Until your next turn, Amplifier's base power becomes twice that card's power, and its base toughness becomes twice that card's toughness. Put the reveal cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. Not bad. So one does have to wonder, I guess, when they have IPs that are too big, and this is why I'm scared about the Ninja Turtles, when they get IPs that are too big, they don't know how to handle them, which is interesting because with Final Fantasy is a gigantic IP that is composed of at least 16 games, the main series ones. Obviously, you have the Tactics universe, you have Final Fantasy Type O, you have all the spin-offs of Final Fantasy VII. I mean, there is everything that you can think of for Final Fantasy. So, ironically, with Final Fantasy, they kind of did it properly. Like the design was good, was inspired, and I think that the most important thing was that a lot of those cards were like moments from the show. From the games. Like you couldn't tell the story end to end from each Final Fantasy, but you had like a lot of important moments from each Final Fantasy, and you have the sagas, and you have the summons, and you had all that stuff. So at the end of the day, it felt a lot more like a good integration. And this is just the basic. Like this is just from a basic perspective of the lore integration of, which sounds like a stupid thing that a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't care, I just care about the mechanics and the art. But it is relevant because that's like half of the reason why Universes Beyond sometimes feels like, sorry, what is this? And then obviously the mechanical aspect is very important. As a Magic player, if the mechanic aspect is well integrated, you can understand the show or the IP that is based on if you never saw it. And if you're a fan of the IP, you get easier into Magic and you understand the mechanics because they make sense. They are connected, right? That's the type of thing that makes it good. I think that with Final Fantasy, they hit it on the head. That's a xenomorph. And with Spider-Man, they didn't. They did just like, look at all these Spider-Man and some villains, which is kind of what they did with Assassin's Creed. I liked Assassin's Creed for a period of my life. Then I got tired of it because they squeezed it too much. And the Assassin's Creed set is really just like, oh, look at all these assassins, guys. And it's like, okay. And the Assassin's Creed set is smaller. It's like 100 cars or something like that. And they actually had to include like 10 cars or something just to make it like the right size for it to work. And it didn't have like any commander products or anything. Just like collector boosters and beyond boosters. And that's it. And, you know, a lot of people don't even remember it. Like before recording this video, I was checking some things online to see if there was any news or anything. And there was a guy in Reddit asking about the interaction of two cards. And the first card that showed was an Assassin's Creed card, but it was with the Animus border. And for a second, I was like, what shitty game is this? Like, I didn't even remember that they had that border and that it was so, like, I guess, un-Magic-like. And that really shows a couple of, you know, some people were like, well, if you don't want something, don't buy it, etc. That's cool, I guess. But we are accelerating too fast in terms of like things that are being released. I like Assassin's Creed, and I have some of the cards from that set. You go check those videos. And I was like, oh shit, that's right, we did that. And that was like, what, last year or something? Maybe 2 years ago? I don't even remember. For Simic, we get Zegana, or Zigana, I don't know, Utopian Speaker. For 2, 1 green and 1 blue, is a 4/4 Merfolk Wizard. Legendary creature. When Zegana, Utopian Speaker, enters the battlefield, if you control another creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. And then for 4, 1 green, 1 blue, you have Adapt 4. If this creature has no +1/+1 counters on it, put 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has Trample. Not bad. It's Merfolk, so this will fit right into the Merfolk deck from Ixalan. Then the same card, all of them get the same card. So that's half the box. You know, not bad, not crazy. It's kind of what we were aiming for. And now we're starting with Orzhov again. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and this was very apparent at the pre-release, is Avatar is properly designed. And one thing that I'm interested into knowing about and checking some people's opinions is that I may be wrong, but Avatar, even though it's something that I like, okay, so like disclaimer, I like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated show, not the movie, not the Netflix series. I saw it as an adult. Like, I don't have any nostalgia for it. I saw it because a lot of people were like, oh my god, you never saw it? It's crazy. And I was like, oh, I guess let's check it out. And I liked it a lot. So I have no nostalgia attached to it. It's not like Dragon Ball Z for me or like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, I have no nostalgia for Avatar. Therefore, if I like it, I really like it. And it's not a default defensive position, I will say. Based on that, I have to say that, and this is maybe a me thing, but I do feel like Avatar is more popular in the US than maybe in the rest of the world. Not because the pre-release wasn't packed, it was, but I think that the love that people have for that IP is a lot stronger on the US. And it's funny because, I mean, it's a Nickelodeon show. For a lot of people, Nickelodeon was a cable channel. I don't think Nickelodeon was available as a non-cable channel anywhere, to be honest. But it's a lot more common in the US to have cable, even more like, I don't know, how old is Avatar? Like 20 years old or something? Even more like 20 years ago than it was in Europe. And in Europe, it was not necessarily that. And Nickelodeon was not a channel that was translated into all European countries. So I think that a lot of people that like Avatar in Europe are kind of happened the same as to me. Like we saw it as more of an adult phase. Like maybe you were in the university, aka college for some people. Maybe you were like already an adult or something, and you heard people talking about it, and you were like, well, I guess I'm checking it. And you downloaded it or checked it on Netflix or something. But I think that in the US it's more of a core thing for a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of people going over to play the pre-release and getting excited about the cards and whatnot. And it's pretty. Some people get very cranky about it and go like, oh, get out of my card game. But actually, I like it a little bit. As long as as long as Wizards prints freaking play boosters for everyone, which shouldn't be a problem. Wizards play boosters are supposed to be the normal boosters that have no real value on them except the cards, and it's not completely random. It's not collector boosters, but for some reason that doesn't apply to Final Fantasy. And I think the same is going to happen with Avatar for some cosmic reason. But as long as we have stock for everyone, I don't care. But I actually like it. I think it makes me like all warm and fuzzy inside when I see newcomers that come to Magic because of Final Fantasy, because of Avatar, because of Fallout. And I understand why some people get cranky. It's like, well, they come in, our game is morphing because of this type of people, which, okay, agree. Money talks, so it is what it is. And a lot of these people, Tessa Karlov, and a lot of these people are just gonna buy for this set, maybe play for this set, and then go away. A lot of these people are just going to buy stuff from this set. They're not going to play. And the Magic player is a player that is very concerned about playing the game. And that's something that you can really tell. It's not like people don't play Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever, but it really, in the community, there's really a passion for like, no, come play. You really, we will teach you. And yes, some people maybe are more crankier than others, and some people are maybe more, what's the word I'm looking for? Friendlier than others when it comes to explaining the game, right? But it does feel like there's a lot of good people out there that love Magic and they just want to have more people to play Magic. I mean, it's the gathering side of it. I do understand that some people get cranky because it's like, well, they're coming in, they're just doing whatever. It's like when you have like a restaurant or a bar or something, and there is an event and people just go for that event and then they go away and they just trash the place, and you're like, well, they took Kyrgyz kind of thing, right? I get it. But at the same time, don't you agree that it's kind of beautiful when you see like new players coming into the game and going like, hey, what is this? What is this symbol? And, and you can be cranky and be like, just Google it or, go watch a video or something. But there is always something pretty, right? About like, because it feels like it's like seeing kids being born. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird phrase to use, but because people are like discovering a new hobby, like a new universe, wonders of a thing. And when you like that hobby, it's kind of cool. Like when I was younger, I actually thought differently because, I don't know, I guess I was younger. And let me just read Tessa Karlov very, very quickly. 2, 1 white, 1 black for a 2/4 human advisor. If a creature dying causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, the ability triggers an additional time. Creature tokens you control have vigilance and lifelink. And then the lore. While Kaya is Guildmaster, Teysa waits patiently at the center of the Orzhov web of power. And then we know what happened with March of the Machine, so it's great. But when I was a kid, and I know maybe some of you may relate to this, but when I was a kid, sometimes I had like this, I don't want to say elitist feeling, but more of a protective feeling. It's like, no, this is my game. This is the game for the real ones. You don't understand this shit. Like, and some people are like this, even if they are old and they have grandchildren. Some people are just like that. And I understand where that comes from, but I think that's the basis of killing a hobby, and killing a community. Sharing is, the gimmick phrase, like sharing is caring. I do think it is when it comes to something that needs other people to. And even things that you can play alone, like a video game. When someone discovers like an old copy of a game that was lost, and a lot of people are just like, dump it. And it's like, no, because otherwise the value is lost or whatever. I mean, Well, yes, to a degree, I guess, but not really, because whoever wants to pay for that because of more likely nostalgic reasons or rarity reasons, and they want the physical object because the physical object is, well, rare. But when people dump their ROMs online for weird games, other people just say the same, which is like, share it. Share that thing with the world. And other people are happy to do it. Some people are just more zealous of it. And, I get it, right? It's like, sometimes for some people, that's the difference between, I don't know, a couple of $1,000 and, I don't know, $500,000. I don't know. Like, it depends on the game. It depends a lot on everything. And I think that the main reason why it's important for us to share magic, and this is a phrase that I'm going to say kind of hypocritically, because I believe it. I believe on it. I believe it. Using Naruto phrases right there. I believe on it. But at the same time, I feel like a corporate simp by saying this, because, well, magic is not mine. Sadly, magic is not even Richard Garfield's anymore. like magic is owned by Hasbro. So it's a corporation, and we buying cars and whatever is just feeding the corporation. It is what it is, right? So, and that's why a lot of times it's kind of cringe hearing people saying like, "Oh, we need to do it for Magic, the community, blah blah blah." And it's like, brother, if you really want the community and blah blah blah, just play online on like any of the multiple free online play tools. Or just print proxies, right? Like the game and the spirit is what you care about, not necessarily keeping the company alive. Some people even defend that if the sales of Magic went down, Hasbro will have a heart attack because Magic is kind of the only thing that is keeping them alive. And maybe they will sell Wizards to someone else. Or maybe Wizards will become independent or something. I don't know. A million things can happen. And maybe that can be better for people that prefer a cleaner Magic. Maybe that will be worse, and maybe Magic will die. I don't think Magic will die ever, because it's one of those things that is too big for its own good, which, that's kind of also the reason why we have some of the problems we have. But Theater of Horrors, for one black, one red, is an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play cards exiled with Theater of Horrors. And for 3 and 1 red, Theater of Horrors deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Don't you love it when I'm just talking and then suddenly I stop to read this? It looks like a YouTube ad. It's like, hey, yeah, because we should do Theater of Horrors now for $9.99. I do think that... So, keeping aside the whole company simping thing, which it is what it is, and I do believe it or not, I'm actually kind of anti-corporation in a lot of these things, because I'm just like, listen, you can just print the proxies, and it's ironic with me buying a lot of the shit you're seeing in this channel, right? But actually, a lot of these I buy like kind of cheap, or sometimes secondhand. And, but I don't hate Wizards. Kind of the opposite. They maintain and they push a game that I like a lot. But sometimes I feel like you need to be a little bit stern with the companies that you like. Otherwise, look at Apple. That company is going to be, sadly, it's not going to be put on rails by its users, but it's going to be put on rails by the market because of the whole AI thing and whatnot. But it will be kind of close to be that due to the iPhone Air, because everyone is returning that shit after like a week or two of use, because in an era where they just keep reselling to us the same freaking thing, but now with a better camera and better battery, they decided to release a phone that had worse camera and worse battery. While being kind of thing, but not really, because it has a bump on the back for the camera. I don't know. And I say this as a long time Apple user. So here is the thing. Sometimes I feel like we need to slap them in the wrist a little bit when it comes to Wizards. And this is where the simping comes, I guess. More people coming to Magic is kind of good. Like, even if you are an investor, right? And it's like, oh, I don't want people buying the cards because I can't buy the cards. And you realize, right, that a lot of the people that is going, and this happens with Pokemon as well, like a lot of the people that are going to pay for this shit, because they are going to see a Black Lotus and go, that's crazy, or they're going to see a Charizard or whatever, is people that, was a kid in 1998, 1994, right? When Yugi, Magic is in 94, and then Yugi and Pokemon in 98 was released. Like, yes, obviously Black Lotus has a status already, so I believe that it will keep its status as like the most expensive card in the world for a while. But the main reason why Charizard is so expensive is, similar to Black Lotus, it's a good card, I guess. But actually, Charizard in the current meta is whatever. The main reason why Charizard is so expensive is because old people like me played Pokemon back in the day, and we really wanted a freaking Charizard, and it was like the chase card. So now you have the money, and now you're kind of crazy. And if you have Post Malone levels of money, or Logan Paul or whatever, I don't know if it was Logan or Jake, the one that bought the freaking card, but like one of those guys. If you have those levels of money, yes, you're gonna pay 500,000, or even more if you are like into crypto things and scams and whatnot. Like the thing is, allegedly, the thing is, people are not gonna buy into Magic. I mean, from a play standpoint, yes, you need more people to play it. If people don't play it, there is no game, there is no gathering. But from a investing standpoint, if you want to consider that, because other people see these card games as investing stock, if more people don't come into the game, no one is going to buy your shit in 20 years or even 10 years. One, because the economy is going down as fuck, but second, because for them, it has no nostalgic value. I mean, I can imagine in 20 years having more value a sticker album full of Italian brain rot stickers from Panini being more valuable to the new generation's Post Malone than a Black Lotus, because they don't care. They were not raised with Charizard. They were not raised with the Dark Magician and the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So it really comes down to that. Is that thing. Now, obviously, they already have a status as collectibles, so that thing will be there. But I guess what I'm trying to say is it's just good overall when people just join the game, for everyone, for the gameplay aspect, for injecting new blood, and if you're an investor and you're cranky, that's also good for you, I guess. So, everybody wins. And this card is Rampage of the Clans. For 3 and 1 green is an instant. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller creates a 3/3 green centaur creature token. And it says, Rage! Rage until the whole world burns. Not a bad card. Not crazy either. So all this to say, yeah, it's kind of cool seeing... wait, I hit the camera a little bit. It's kind of cool seeing all these newcomers going into Magic because of Avatar. And I feel like, a lot of people that came in from Final Fantasy, maybe they already played some sort of card game, or I mean, hang on, because this is going to be a fun take. I feel like if you played Final Fantasy, like, you already knew the Final Fantasy card game to a degree, maybe, or maybe not. And like, it feels like a more of a nerdy activity, I guess. I feel like Avatar is more normie, if you allow me those terms. So for Final Fantasy, there was a lot of newcomers and a lot of people going like, "Oh, this is crazy, guys!" But for Avatar, I feel like there is really getting an injection of like more normal people, but more or less the same age, because it's the age that kind of likes Avatar. I also saw a fun take, and yes, the pre-release was like packed and full of people, unlike the Spider-Man ones. And reading about this, I saw a take that was very fun, and I think illustrates why, even if this is only cardboard and this is only a game, and people can feel the love injected into these things, or at least the care. And this person, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, like the Avatar pre-release has a lot of people. That's crazy. Compared to Spider-Man, it was crazy. Spider-Man was like 4 people, and Avatar was like 40, etc." And then some guy said, like, "Well, the Avatar is more popular," or something. It's like, no. Spider-Man is one of the most famous things in the world. It's one of the most famous characters in the world. I think in terms of comic book heroes, I think it's either 1 or 2. I think it's number 1 and Batman is number 2. Like, and because Spider-Man is more like kid friendly than Batman, I guess, so that increases the range. But like, Spider-Man is huge. The set was just bad. And then there was another argument that I kind of agree with, which is, well, maybe for the demographic that Spider-Man is attached to, there is not that much of a match with the demographic for Magic the Gathering, whereas Avatar maybe does. And I think that may be true, but at the same time, if we're going with the stereotypes, I mean, I think that the stereotype of the nerd that reads comic books and plays card games is kind of the same. So, like, you know, if you like comic books, technically you like Magic. I'm not saying that's the case, but like, if you are going with stereotypes, right? That's normally, you know, like the nerd guy from The Simpsons and all that is kind of that. So it feels weird that, you know, but I just think it's like, it feels more taken care of. Like, the set smells better. It has more love put into it. And a lot of people just like Avatar. And Avatar, I mean, it's not like it's dry right now because you have the Netflix series, but I think that reignited the love on some people, similar to some Harry Potter stuff when it came out again, and people like re-encounter their youth, you know, to a degree. And I guess people, I mean, we all need escapes in this day and age. Things are getting crazy. Mass manipulation. Talking about things getting crazy. For double X and 4 blue is a sorcery. Gain control of X target creatures and or planeswalkers. Those who cross the Dimir find enemies everywhere they turn. Interesting. Oh, we got double pull. Nice. And we got the Hydroid Krasis. It's the first double pull in all these boosters, by the way. For X and 1 green, 1 blue is a 0/0 Jellyfish Hydra Beast. And it says, when you cast this spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards, round down each time. It has flying, trample, and Hydroid Krasis, or Krasis, I guess, enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it. And it says, Havoc is a small price to pay for data. Not bad. One thing I do have to say that is kind of weird is this is a Simic booster. Obviously, this is kind of a themed booster. Get it? Haha, themed boosters. In the sense that it's more like color oriented, but they go with 2 colors and whatnot. What makes it weird, and this also happens in the pre-release, by the way, for Avatar, is that, well, some of these cards are Dimir, even though it's a single color, but this card, Simic, but this card obviously references the Dimir, and it's like, Dimir is not even in this set, brother, but okay. So, but that's kind of, you know, it's a secondary effect that you need to have. I mean, it's Ravnica, you have all the guilds, even though they are not featured in that set of that block. And now, last but not least, the Police, Azorius. And I guess that's to finish, one thing that I like to touch, and we will see this a lot as we open some Avatar stuff, because I bought a lot of Avatar stuff because I like Avatar. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. I am... One of the things, actually, that I am... this set is doing for me is I'm getting an urge to rewatch Avatar. And why? Because I watched it... I don't know, was it around the pandemic or before? I think it was before the pandemic. I don't know. And I don't double watch things. Like I don't watch things with my cell phone in my hand. Anything like that. Like when I watch it, I'm 100% concentrated, and I absorb it a lot. So I remember everything that happens in that show, but I guess I don't remember everything down to the freaking frames, because now seeing a lot of the cards, I just go like, oh man, that's right. Hey man, that's great. And I just have this urge to like rewatch it, which I think speaks very well about Avatar. Because I don't really like rewatching things. A lot of times I rewatch something and I absorb it as much as I can. I'm like, okay, that's good. So me wanting to rewatch something, be it a movie, a show, or something, is normally a good sign of, or at least I mean, I'm not God, right? But like, it means that I really like the thing, because I normally don't like rewatching anything. fun fact, and since we're talking about Universes Beyond, one of the few things that I rewatched and actually kind of close both rewatches was Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 version. I discovered it this year, which I am ashamed to say that I discovered Hunter x Hunter so late, and then I showed it to other people, and I rewatched it again. Can you imagine a Universes Beyond Magic set for Hunter x Hunter? Yikes, that will be crazy. I mean, Avatar is in, anything can go in. I mean, and this is one of the proofs that yet one other post of everyone hates Universes Beyond except when they do Universes Beyond of something that they like. Well, in my defense, I always use the Doctor Who defense. Like I never liked Doctor Who, and I started liking Doctor Who because of the Universes Beyond set. So I guess there is that. So the one thing I want to touch very briefly, and we're going to touch this in more detail as we open Avatar stuff, is the whole color identity thing. It's funny to me how this game is 31 years old, I think, and the color wheel and the color identity is such an important part of this game, to the point that the whole Ravnica thing, and this is kind of where I was like, well, this is relevant for this time, the whole Ravnica thing is important. Like they mix in two colors and getting these color identities, these bicolor identities that actually have like gameplay philosophies attached to it, is one of the things that I love the most about Magic. It's amazing. Is like genius game design, right? You have like the color wheel, each color represents something, and then the mix of the colors gives birth to a new identity. And 3 colors is similar, and 4 colors no one cares, because basically 4 colors, as they say, is not so much the sum of things, but what is lacking, because it's lacking 1. And 5 colors is like whatever, because it's everything. So the thing is that I find it funny that we were talking about an Avatar set, and people were like, well, I guess that's going to be like 4 commander decks, 1 for water bending, 1 for earth bending, and 1 is going to be blue, the other is going to be green. And it's like, you know, the thing that people that do Magic the Gathering, people that play, we got again Unbreakable Formation, come on. You know, the thing that people that play Magic the Gathering normally correct the fastest about, from other people or from Pokemon players, is normally the color pips, right? People go like, so I need fire energy, mana or fire energy, and I need water energy. And people go like, that's not fire, that's not water, that's blue and red. And that's not related with the elements at all. It uses those symbols, but it's not related to that. And that's kind of one of the first things that other people that teach Magic teach you, because it's like, don't get things mixed. Those are colors, not elements. And that makes sense, because you will go like, well, I guess earth, water, fire, and then light and dark. So you're missing wind, really. So with Avatar, a lot of people were like, well, I guess white is wind, right, or air, and then blue is water, green is earth, and red is fire, and black is nothing. And then a lot of cards started releasing, and it's like, well, this Azula is like, I think it's Grixis, I think, and people are like, oh, well, I guess I don't really understand why it's blue, and it's like, because she is ambitious as and cunning, like that's blue. Right? And I know that Wizards nowadays has like mixed every color, so every color can do anything to a degree, right? And it's like the keywords don't mean anything anymore. But that's something that I like. And we're going to talk about that next week. If hopefully I get my things in time, we will be opening, I guess, a play booster box or something. And I'm going to be talking about that and a little bit about Avatar. It's going to be a geek out. So if you like Avatar, get ready. And if you hate it, get ready. And I hope there is no like crazy news. Otherwise, I won't be able to geek out about Avatar as much as I could. But so kind of eventful week. Like the pre-release is there, kind of exciting. A lot of people showing up, a lot of good spirit. I think Avatar is one of those IPs that has like a clean aura to it. Like everyone likes it, or at least they keep a distance. But like no one is like, oh, I hate that. You can hate the movie, but not the show. And I think that brings positive energy, not only to Magic, but to, just to your day-to-day as a whole. That's good. So let's see. And I guess Wizards will chill down a little bit because Christmas and all that. And then we'll start seeing stuff for I forgot the name of the set, which makes me a horrible person. But for the January in-universe set is lovely. Don't you love it? How it's like, oh, we need more universe set. Also, we have one. I don't remember. Lorwyn. There you go. I remember on my own. I didn't check anything. So let's see. I think that the combo between like Avatar and Lorwyn can be like a good 2 months, 3 months of like good feelings and faith in magic and all that. I'm really hoping for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles out of selfishness because I like the TMNT. So I hope the set is as good as Avatar. At least both are Nickelodeon, so not too crazy. And then the Marvel one, not sure about that, Chief, but excited about the Arcadia set. So let's see. I don't know. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all those cool things that the cool kids do. And I will see you next time on PAX and Recreation. Bye.